Thank you, thank you, thank you. That was awesome. Thank you so very much. That was such a fun little twist and tie into. Thank you for sharing. It was fun to see on screen. And then she starts naming elements, and then she starts talking about astronomy. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, that's stuff that I write about. It's really funny because what I was going to do for this next round is stuff that appears in the most recent issue of cc&d magazine, which is Smokes and Dreams, and somebody sends me periodic table poems. And this one that appears in this issue is plutonium. So I got stuff about astronomy in here a bit as well, which I think is really funny. Just a
Can I say something? May I say
yes,
something?
please do.
I wanted to complete you with pollution is important in this context of all is happening on the earth.
Oh, yeah.
Volcanoes, earthquakes,
Yep.
pole shift, all, everything, icebergs. So pollution is very important.
It's
and if human beings can do something to reduce pollution, we may have a chance.
We might have a chance. What is that step that we take? And I think I'm at the point where I'm like, I don't feel bad if I sound like a crazy lady asking, no, I'll take this to recycle. I'll go do this. And sure, I'll collect this and do that because, well, if at least I'm someone doing it, so it's got to be something. So, and I hope it makes a difference and then others listen, who knows, whatever. So I hope it works, but you're absolutely right, and thank you. And yeah, that does matter. You're absolutely correct. But as you were saying, you were talking about elements in your poem as well as astronomy. I'm going to do a few pieces. There are going to be 2 long ones and 3 Twitter-length poems. So it's technically more than 3, but 3 are short. So cut me some slack. I'm the host lady. This is for plutonium, and I'm even looking at some of the pictures for it. And haha. I've even got a bookmark to be able to share it with you guys because I'm crazy. The interior of the book has a lot of images. Maybe I might show you 1 or 2 of them from this. But this is a poem called Plutonium that appears not only in this cc&d book, but also in the periodic table of poetry. People who don't know me know that I'm always showing off books. That's just what I do. I can't help it. This is called Plutonium. Now, I know they named the element plutonium after the, at the time, newly discovered planet, but I can't help but wonder if any of these scientists who deal with plutonium now feel slighted that the planet was demoted to a planetoid. But if these scientists care at all about astronomy, they have to feel consoled that at least their element plutonium is used with the element neptunium when extracted from spent nuclear fuel rods, and neptunium is a byproduct of in production. Added bonus. If this element's namesake was named after an icy ball of ice at the edge of our solar system, at least now the element can hang and work with the element neptunium, which, like that element's namesake Neptune, is a bit of a gas giant itself. Fermi discovered plutonium, and the silvery white element, looking not unlike an ice ball, was even originally used in a weapon design in the Manhattan Project. Because, you know, even if the planet Pluto is really just an ice ball from the Kuiper belt, at least it's in the periodic table. Plutonium can at least hang out once again with its once astronomical brothers Neptune-eum and feel important again. Short one for
Mickey Mouse's dog?
No, that's where the moon Sharon came from. Did you know that? They were looking for names, and one of the astronomers' son was like, "Why don't you name it for Sharon?" Because that was from like a dog from Pluto, I think, or something. This was from one of the shows that I did when I was doing, and I was a blonde then. And I've got a comet shirt, but I also did something where I was reading it 2 chemists at periodic table poems, and that was fun. I'm like, name an element, do you know? It was fun to be able to pull that off. But anywho, I'm going to share with you. They're all plutonium related, as I said. Next one's a short one that appears not only in cc&d, but also in Twitterverse, because a chemist friend of mine, scientist friend of mine said, hey, there's a contest. Go write things. And I'm like, I'm going to write them for every element because I can't do things halfway. I have to go nuts. So I did that for this as well. So I've got a number of ones that are in this book as well for plutonium. This is plutonium, the fat man on the scene. Twitter length. They had to pull out the big guns when their little man wasn't enough. So drop the fat man on the scene. Take a chance on what damage you'll do. They packed him with 140 pounds of plutonium, hoping one atom in that fat man would be enough. And let me tell you, it was. I read that once. Where did I read that? At the virtual Austin Poetry Society reading in 2020, because that was about the time that I was doing them for periodic table poems. But anywho, and I feel bad that Tom Woodruff isn't here because this next one was done in a show that he had sponsored in, I don't know if Ron ever went to them, and I hope that you're okay with the floods, by the way. If you're okay weather-wise, he's nodding yes, very, very good. I'm as well, so I'm just good to hear. But he did monthly things called Expressions at the Baha'i Faith Center in Austin, and there were many features, and I did one of them, and this was the first one that I ever did as I had moved here, and it happened to be on my wedding anniversary. So, this is one of the poems that was in it. It is in cc&d, and yes, it is in the periodic table of poetry. I have to show off my books whenever I can. This is Pluto, Plutonium, and Death. My kingdom is the underworld. You could imagine the King Pluto from ancient Greek mythology, say. And an 11-year-old English girl thought that this was a perfect name for a planet surrounded by darkness. And for decades, the rogue, the rebellious quote-unquote planet had a different orbit from its brethren. Crossed paths with brother Neptune was otherwise one that didn't quite fit in. Maybe that's why the big boy club of astronomers kicked Pluto out, said, "You're not good enough to be one of us." But shrouded in death seems to be the theme for Pluto. A man-made element 94 was not naturally occurring, but only existing after smashing heavy water, deuterium, into uranium. And for those of you with any nuclear know-how, you know that whatever uranium smashing makes has to be crazy dangerous. And it is. Since plutonium has been on the scene since 1940, the only thing it's been known for is for nuclear bombs. That fat boy that blew up Nagasaki. Great legacy, plutonium. You first carried the torch of death and destruction before Pluto itself was demoted from planet status. When the fight for Pluto first came to light, even little children wrote letters in protest. "Don't kill this dark mystery," they pleaded, because even the little children are fascinated with the concept, especially because it seems so far away. I look around me now. I see the destruction we bring upon ourselves. Christians bombing abortion clinics, Muslims shrouding women and beheading non-believers. Chicago gangs shoot some in retribution for more shooting. The violence doesn't end. But the darkness, the death that seems to be ruled by the planet/non-planet named from Greek mythology, and the element whose only function we humans know is complete annihilation. How fitting that Pluto and plutonium are forever locked in this death dance. Pluto, thank you. Pluto, plutonium, and death. And I don't know if Ron ever went to at the Baha'i Center. That was me in my dress up when I'm going to the anniversary dinner. I'm like, well, I'm going to be here for a show as well. So I'm going to close it off with two more that, yes, they are in here. They are in Smokes and Dreams. I'm flipping through the pages for it because that's how I roll. That was Pluto, plutonium, and death. But of course, also, not only in a show, but also when I would do Twitter-length poems, if I could pull it off and have an image as well, I would. And so I try to do that for these ones as well. This one is called Plutonium, pee-eew. Not only in cc&d, but also Twitterverse periodic table poetry. Here's Twitter link bone. pee-eew. American chemist Seaborg, with Wall and Kennedy and even Segro, who, despite being an enemy national, worked at night in a small, smelly, confined attic to get element number 94 and named it for the last planet. Remembering the smelly space they found 94, he ensured that the symbol would be pee-eew. pee-eew. That was performed at Gallery Cabaret. Some of you may have seen these before when I was reading them, and I got my for Mariette, I got my Priestler Recycle shirt on while I'm doing these readings for the periodic table. But I did a live feed as well when I could pull off having filters on it. And I'm going to try to give you that one last one with the image that you happen to see in the shot in here. That is said as in Twitterverse periodic table poetry and in cc&d magazine. This is Plutonium, better than the Fat Man. Tantalizing traces of plutonium-244 lodged at the bottom of the Pacific, 1 mile deep, embedded in layers of ocean floor rock, now prove that in the last 10 million years, supernova plus colliding neutron stars, so much better than any Fat Man, literally rained plutonium on Earth. There you go about your history lesson. What? I didn't totally expect that one, but there you go. It's from lots and lots of stuff about plutonium in there. Sorry, you guys. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you, thank you. As I had said here at this installment of Poetic License, I try to share anything about, science to astronomy to nature to saving the environment to whatever I can. I'll pull off some women's issues stuff. I'll get that in there at the same time because it's all about making people think. But thank you so much for listening, and I am so looking forward to hearing from our Zoom host. Thank you for setting this all up, and we are honored to be putting up with you, as you like to always say, my love, because it's not putting up with you. We're honored, so thank you very much. You've got 3, my darling, and then after, we get to hear music from Ron. So in the meantime, the stage is yours. Take it away.